Right, I'm here with Blossom, who's tucked around the back. You can just see a little rat tail there. I'm sure she'll come back round the side. I just wanted to tell everyone that we're going to do another little mini-series, a follow-on from I Would Like to Keep Rats, just covering some things that subjects that might come up in your first few weeks of keeping rats and how to deal with them. Today, just a short part for today, really just a few things that you might not have considered that you need to think about when you first get your rats regarding making your room safe for rats to play in. We have two videos on safety at playtime, which is centred on really on floor playtime for free run. So there's just a few little tips and things, and I'm sure you're well aware of unplugging everything from the electric and putting away cables and anything that you don't want chewed, because rats can't help chewing. It's never going to be their fault if they chew something and ruin it. It will have to be your fault for not putting it away, and we've all done it. I've had new books chewed around the corners, my slippers, all sorts of things chewed. It is just one of those things that's going to happen when you have rats, and you just have to try and remember to put everything away safely. There's a few things you might not think about that I didn't even think about, you know, when I first had my first rats, but there are so many things around the home that are toxic. Air fresheners and the odour neutralisers, are sort of waxy type air fresheners that you get that stand in the plastic casing. You really don't want your rats to be chewing anything like that. Do you think you've dropped a sweetie? Have a sweetie, but just last one. Be good. Yeah, you can use things like lavender as a room freshener for some scent rather than the artificial type of fresheners. And that's quite nice. But do be aware, if you have like lavender bags or potpourri, your rats will be in it. I had to move my bowl of potpourri, and I have to hang the lavender bags away from the rats because they just kept running off with them and hiding them. So they do love the smell of lavender. I'd also avoid spray cleaners and aerosol cans and deodorants and anything. Don't spray that around in the same room that you keep your rats, because that's very bad for their breathing. That's something that a lot of people don't think about. So, you know, you've other things to tidy away really that you might not think. On the table you might have marker pens, inks, paints. You could have loose batteries lying around, makeup and medicines, things like paints, sorry I said paints, things like cleaners and detergents. They're quite dangerous for rats. You don't want them eating anything or playing in boxes where you've had anything that could be dangerous or toxic. Things like staples might be on the floor. You don't want your rat picking up staples or pins, needles or other sewing equipment. Where are you going, you wriggly girl? Come here. Very wriggly girl tonight. Jewellery. A lot of plants are poisonous. And the most important thing is never leave your rats unattended or with other animals or young children. And if I can get Blossom, see, cardigans, they love cardigans. I'll show you in a minute how to stop a rat from running away if they're trying to run off your knee without grabbing them or squeezing them. So when we get her out from round my back, we'll show you that. I always have bare feet, and I tell everyone that comes into my living room they need to take their shoes and socks off preferably, because you can then feel if a rat runs over or under your foot so you don't squash them. If the rat is trying to run away and you don't want it to, one hand in front of their face, one behind them. You can contain a rat quite easily, and if the rat panics, I've said before, you can just cover them with your cardigan or a blanket or a towel or something. Don't suffocate them, obviously, don't hold it around them, but just loosely put them into a dark place and they will stop panicking. And that's a really good tip if you get a young rat or a very nervous rat that's very jumpy. But you'd spend all day in my cardigan, wouldn't you, lovely? Yes, you would. Come back here and let's have a look at you, beautiful girl. So let me just think what else. Hopefully you have taught your rats their names, because that rats are very intelligent, but I keep constantly stroking them and telling them, good girl Blossom, my beautiful girl Blossom. They learn their names very quickly, even older rats that you've rescued. I've had rats who are 3 years old, never been given names. Within a week they all knew their names, usually within 48 hours, sort of maximum 3 or 4 days, a rat will learn its name, providing you constantly tell them. And that is the thing, and to make sure they know it's their name by telling them their name while you're holding them, and then they will learn that is their name. And when they're a bit bigger, if you're going to do the free running, we always teach what sweeties are, and we will rattle sweeties and we'll teach them to come back. So if they don't come back when you call their name, they will come back for the sweeties to get them in after playtime. So that's another little thing to teach your rats quite early. And there are other word commands you can teach them, such as stay. Now that's really helpful. We teach all our rats stay from quite a young age, and lots of praise when they do stay. That's handy for things like if you need to put them on the scales to weigh them. There's 2 reasons we weigh our young rats, and that's to make sure they're putting on weight and healthy. And the other reason is we weigh all the rats from time to time, because if they ever need medicines, it's quite handy to know how much your rat weighs. Obviously the vet would weigh the rat for you, but because of the number of rats we have, it's quite handy for me to know and just give the vet a list of which rats are sick and what their current weight is. So little Blossom, hey, she's a good girl, and I'm trying to remember what Blossom weighs. I think she weighs 365 grams, so she's a fair size adult rat. She's round about 19 months, and here we go up the sleeve again. You're a very tickly girl. So I think I did mention last week, but you need to check your rats every single day, make sure that they're showing no signs of illness or injury. We check all our rats morning and evening and make sure everybody is fit and healthy. They all come out individually for a cuddle every day, and they come out for their playtime and their free run time. So handle your rats as often as you can. Are you going back up my sleeve? The more you handle them, the more they will love to be with you, and really rats truly just love your company, so you will get the benefit of super affectionate and cuddly rats. Obviously I've mentioned in the food one about always changing the water twice a day, so they've always got fresh water more often if it's very hot. Even central heating can warm up the water. You can always store water in the fridge. We do that in hot weather. We will fill up a bottle, like a litre bottle of water, and we'll store that in the fridge until the next time we want to use it. We'll take it out about half an hour before we're going to fill the water bottles, the individual bottles, and that's quite handy for storing water. We never store water for longer than 24 hours. Usually it's just from morning to evening, evening to morning again. But it's a good way to have some nice cold water rather than trying to get cold water out of the tap on a very hot day. And you can get some little covers that go on water bottles to keep them cool, but we found they just got ripped to shreds. There's always one rat that's going to rip up the cover, so that wasn't worth the money for us. If you haven't already started a little saving fund for your vet bills, it's a good time now to start putting just a little bit away each week or each month. Guarantee you always have money for your vet bills, or also the other thing, you might need to get other new equipment or bigger cages at some stage, or travel carriers. So save up some extra pennies and pounds. Make sure you always have everything you need for your rats. It saves a lot of worry and stress. And let me think, what else? We are so tired again today, aren't we, girls? It's been a very long day. All these 14 rats are hard work, but they are so special and so beautiful. I couldn't imagine my life without them. It would be a very empty day, wouldn't it, without you girls? Playtime, which we're going to cover on the next video, which is, I'm afraid, is going to be about a 13-minute video again. I've tried to keep them shorter, but there is so much with playtime. But I'm just to remind you, it's better for baby rats to have several short 5 to 10 minute playtimes rather than one really long playtime. And remember, your rats need at least an hour a day out of their cage. So there's my little girl. You're so cute. I know I keep saying that. I have to stop saying how cute you are, but you are. Now, one thing that I didn't mention before about cages is to be considerate where you actually place your rat cage. Don't have it right next to speakers or a computer or a television, and obviously away from windows and radiators. But rats are very sensitive to noise, so if you like to play loud music and the rats are in your bedroom or your living room, I'd say it's nicer if you put headphones in rather than blast your rats out with music and sort of loud drum noises and things. They're going to absolutely terrify your rats. And when you have playtime, keep your room nice and calm, unplug phones and things like that so there's no sudden noises. And when you're first handling your rats, be very slow movements, very gentle, no sudden movements or noises, because that will scare your rats. So just really it's a repetition of to always be calm and gentle with them. I think I've mentioned the things that I've forgotten to mention in the other videos, and just to say I hope the next season, little series will be helpful. If anyone's got any questions that they want answered, just let us know. We usually film our new videos on a Thursday, and I'll say next week we've got 2 short videos. One will be on introducing rats, and I'm not sure what the topic for the second one is yet, so if anyone has got anything they want added, just let us know. But this is for now. I've got a wriggly girl who's dying to get on the floor, so it's bye from me and Blossom. There you go, good girl.